The story portrays Ben as a boy caught between the virtual world of games and the harsh reality of school and bullying. His inner thoughts reveal a longing to understand himself and find strength amidst chaos, loneliness, and misunderstanding. The movie opens with Ben sitting in front of his computer playing a game called Archlord. He talks to himself, saying it's hard to explain the game and that he never lies. Everything he says is true, even when he doesn't say anything at all. His mother, Muter, comes into the room and muses that someone always has to die first before something big happens. She believes life just keeps going, as if nothing is wrong. But when that first person dies, everyone suddenly wakes up. Though by then it might be too late. Ben keeps typing on his keyboard, still immersed in the game. He tells himself that he plays every morning from 5:45 to 6:33. He's now reached level 80, which in the game is a sign of being strong and respected in that virtual world. He admits that hundreds or even thousands of people are online, but for over a year, he's only been playing with one girl named Scarlight. In the game, Ben fights off enemies and saves Scarlight. She thanks him and Ben affectionately calls her his princess. But Scarlight teases him, suggesting that maybe princess is a man in real life. Ben responds with a joke, telling her she should log out tonight. Then he looks at himself in the mirror and whispers that in games, you can be whoever you want. He feels humiliated, thinking that in real life, the person looking back at him is a jerk. He feels he needs to teach himself how to smile, how to really laugh, even though there's nothing to smile about. Ben thinks about how creating his avatar is like making himself into someone stronger. He spends 20 seconds imagining his hands and 15 seconds styling his hair. He believes that his strength depends on the weapons and tools he has. He also considers tracking his heart rate, a way to measure how he's really doing inside. He then thinks about what his mother might say. She'd probably greet him with a good morning, no matter whether it's good or bad. Ben greets her, and they sit down for breakfast. She asks if he slept well, and he says yes. Inside, Ben thinks about his little brother, Jonas, feeling like Jonas should be his big brother because Ben doesn't quite know how to be one. Jonas suddenly mentions he saw a troll, but Ben dismisses it, saying trolls don't have horses. Jonas walks away confused. Their mother tells Ben to stay calm and not to get worked up. Ben leaves for school, putting on his headphones to block out the noisy world around him. On the bus, Freddie comments that he can't believe what just happened. It proves things aren't right. Ben reflects that everything has gone too far. While waiting at the bus stop, Ben observes the other people around him. He finds them strange, talking loudly, drinking saliva from each other, and thinks all he can do is watch, copy, and imitate them. He feels he'll never learn everything about life. Flashbacks fill his mind. Kids playing basketball, throwing balls to him, but Ben stays still, refusing to throw back. A teacher approaches and tells him he needs to pass the ball to someone else, but Ben doesn't move. Instead, he starts throwing things in the cafeteria, confusing everyone. When the teacher asks what's wrong, Ben quietly thinks he's always the one who's wrong, but no one ever tells him how to be right. Later, Ben gets into a car, where Desmet and Bogart are also riding. They talk about girls and relationships. Bogart jokes about an old girl in heat sparks making fun of Ben's friends. Ben thinks to himself that he's their best friend. At least, that's what they say. Bogart spots Ben and calls him Benny, teasing him as their best friend. Desmet jokes that they're like aliens from Pluto, and Bogart tells Ben that masturbation makes him deaf, which causes the boys to bully him. Ben's mind races with questions. Why do they always come up with such jokes? His mother later takes him to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor tells him he hears perfectly, but that he doesn't listen. The doctor also thinks there might be something wrong with his eyes, but Ben reads all the letters on the wall clearly. His mother says Ben never looks at her. He always looks through her, not at her. Ben then enters college thinking he must see the big picture and understand that others don't see him. He stands nervously among the crowd watching everyone else. He reflects on the game and imagines two men talking. One says his kid is 10 times smarter than others. Ben sits in class, but Bogart throws things at him while the teacher talks about Jesus. Ben keeps staring at Jesus' sign in his mind, ignoring the chaos around him. The teacher notices Bogart's teasing and yells at him to leave Ben alone. She tells the class that Ben is different from everyone else. The teacher warns Bogart to tell the class about the lesson, but Bogart jokes around, and when the bell rings, class ends. The teacher tells Ben not to let others push him around. She says that kids like Ben don't stand a chance. Freddie adds that Ben is an easy target for bullies, who once even put a bandage over his mouth because the headmaster said so. In class, a girl tells the teacher that Ben always brings his lunch but never eats it. When Ben packs his bag to leave, the bullies come up to him. They bully him, pull his pants down, and stand him on a bench. Some boys record everything while calling him a loser. After they're finished, Ben slides down from the bench and throws a chair at the window, breaking the glass. The teacher rushes to him and takes him to the office. The headmaster questions Ben about what happened. Ben doesn't answer. Bogart and Desmet come into the office, claiming it was just teasing and not their fault. They never broke the glass. The headmaster asks Ben again, but he remains silent. Finally, he and his mother leave. Freddie hands Ben a camera and tells him to look at it. Later, Ben sits with his mother in the car trying to relax. When they get home, Ben goes to his gaming room, feeling nervous after watching the video of his bullying. His mother comes in and asks what's wrong. She then tells him there's a new message from Starlight. She wishes him good night and leaves him to sleep. Ben often wondered why people said, "Sleep tight." How do you actually sleep tight? One night, he was lost in his thoughts when he heard someone call out, "Starlight is waiting for you." Ben knew it was a game, but in his mind he felt like she was really there. In the game, Starlight asked Ben why he was late. Ben told her his health was bad and bowed to her. He said he was dead tired. Starlight sat beside him and said, "Come on, hero, you need to revive yourself." Ben sighed and replied, "It's too late to heal now." The game continued, and Ben imagined sitting with Starlight, feeling comforted by her presence. Later, Ben and his mother, Mutter, sat in the car. Mutter said they were going to see the doctor again, and Dr. Mayvert would be happy to see them. Ben had flashes of his past. He remembered his mother telling him he was special, but deep inside he thought, all doctors say I am hypersensitive. Sitting in the waiting room, Ben held his camera and whispered in his mind that there's a camera watching everything. Who's mad? Who's not? Suddenly, flashes of the past played in his mind. He saw himself, his mother, and her husband Bob entering a hospital. Bob said it was a waste of time, but Mutter insisted they needed help. A doctor approached Ben and he thought, they just tell me to let myself go, but they wouldn't let him. Then he realized they had diagnosed him with Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism. In his thoughts, Ben wondered if the doctors understood him at all. Mutter talked to the doctor. The doctor said Ben wasn't weak-minded, he was very strong. But Ben thought bitterly, they just talk and talk. Who really understands me? The doctor told Mutter that Ben was extraordinary, and his grades were good. Mutter, though, felt sad. She thought, they put a label on Ben, autism, but to me he's just my son. Nothing's wrong with him. Back in the car, Ben received a viral video of himself. It made him feel hopeful. He started playing a game again. In his mind, he said, my fingers told everything to Starlight. In the game, he told her, end game. But Starlight replied, no end game without me. Come. Ben imagined her lying in bed while he played, and he thought, she's always on my side even without knowing my name. She helps me sleep tight. The next morning, Ben looked at himself in the mirror. In his thoughts, he imagined Starlight asking, where is your plan? And telling him, let him help you rise above yourself. At breakfast, Mutter told Ben to stay calm and said he was ready to go to school. She warned him not to get worked up and to call her if needed. Ben left for school. He received a message from Ahan that he was a Martian. Flashbacks haunted him, kids bullying him, making him feel small. When Ben arrived at college, he went to his locker. Freddie asked if he saw the latest video. Ben nodded. During experiments, Bogart and Desmet were playing with fire, and the headmaster scolded them. On the street, Ben got a message from Starlight. She said she didn't know him in real life, but knew him well. She told him he couldn't finish the game without a healer. She was that healer. She also said she met him at 1022 near where he lives. Later, Bogart and Desmet approached Ben. They bullied him, dragged him to the park, and stole his phone. Ben tried to defend himself with a crucifix, but they attacked him and gave him some pills. At home, Mutter watched a video of Ben and felt worried. Ben then imagined Starlight kissing him. When Mutter and Jonas came looking for him, he was so happy he told them he was healing and understanding people's feelings. At home, Ben lay on the couch, feeling defeated. He remembered Mutter telling him about the video. Filled with anger, he started destroying things. His father arrived with his girlfriend, Sabine, and took Jonas away. Ben, still on the couch, kept thinking about Starlight and said, endgame, as he prepared to meet her. Ben left the house, got on a bus, and reached the train station. He whispered to himself that he had found her. He saw her, but she didn't recognize him, and walked away. Ben hurried to catch the train, got inside, and sat next to her. He thought about her, feeling a strange hope. As the train neared Brussels, an announcement said they would arrive soon. Starlight asked if he was okay, but Ben decided to leave. She got off the train, and Ben was left behind, staring after her. Mutter worriedly said she had been scared stiff. She had so many thoughts running through her mind. worried Ben might do something terrible. Bob, Ben's stepfather, also worried. He wondered how many reasons Ben had for thinking about suicide. Ben stood outside the train station feeling hopeless. Inside, he whispered that dying would be easy, no more pain, no more bullying. The train, he thought, could end it all. But then, suddenly, Scarlight appeared and grabbed his hand. She told him that if he thought it was all over quickly, he was wrong. Even if he was lucky enough to be decapitated instantly, he'd still be conscious for 13 to 15 seconds, aware of what was happening. She warned him about the gruesome reality, bits of his body flying apart. But she also took his hand and said, "Just before you die, your life flashes before your eyes, like a film. Did you see anything?" Ben looked at her and asked, "Who?" She smiled and said, "Who pushed you?" "Me, of course, you blockhead." Ben finally smiled back and whispered, "You." Back home, police arrived. They asked Motor if Ben had any scars. Meanwhile, Scarlight told Ben that he was the man who escaped from the dungeon of Silencium, who crossed Windrill Desert with her, and fought Baylor. She told him he was on level 80. That was his end game, and now he was just ready to throw himself under a train to click and log out. But Scarlight took Ben's hands and told him something important. She said that dying in real life isn't easy. If he wanted revenge, he should do it play to win. She then took Ben to his house and talked to him. Ben was very happy around her, feeling safe. They all planned a new course of action. They decided to go to a ferry where Scarlight and Ben watched the sea. Ben started recording himself on his camera, then suddenly jumped into the water. News reports said that suicide rates were rising. A funeral was held, but then a strange thing happened. Ben suddenly started talking about why he wanted to die. He revealed how he was bullied, showed videos of his tormentors. The bullies started to worry. Then unexpectedly, Ben appeared from behind, smiling. It was all part of a plan. His mother, Scarlight, and Jonas had helped fake his death to get revenge on the bullies. Finally, Ben, Scarlight, Motor, and Jonas went to a horse ranch in the countryside. The instructor showed Ben how to be friendly with horses and told him, "You must learn to feel good." Ben went to talk to Scarlight. The instructor looked confused, realizing that Ben was really talking to himself. Motor smiled at him, proud and hopeful. Ben's story is one of pain, hope, and a fight to find himself. Even in dark moments, he's searching for light, believing that somehow he can still win his game. And to win a great story, just click on my recaps on the right next. Subscribe to stay up to date with future uploads, and drop a like to support the channel. As always, grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.